What makes a simple cup of coffee a global phenomenon? From one small store in Seattle to more than 30,000 cafés across the world, Starbucks has transformed coffee from a daily habit into a cultural experience. It's not just about caffeine, it's about community, lifestyle, and identity. For millions, Starbucks is the third place between home and work, a space where people gather, connect, and belong. But how did it all begin? How did a modest retailer of coffee beans and equipment grow into a brand recognized in nearly every city on Earth? And what secrets lie behind its meteoric rise, its struggles, and its reinventions? This is the dramatic, untold story of Starbucks, the company that turned coffee into culture, and culture into empire. The story of Starbucks begins in Seattle, Washington, in 1971. Three friends, Jerry Baldwin, an English teacher, Gordon Boker, a writer, and Zev Siegel, a history teacher, shared a passion for good coffee. At the time, Seattle was a city of fishermen, loggers, and Boeing engineers, but it was not yet known for coffee. The trio believed the city deserved access to the same rich, dark roasted beans they had discovered in San Francisco. Pooling their savings, each invested $1,350 and borrowed $5,000 from a bank to open a small shop at 2000 Western Avenue. The store was modest, lined with burlap sacks of beans, wooden counters, and the aroma of freshly roasted coffee. Soon after, they moved to the bustling Pike Place Market, where the original Starbucks store still stands today as a pilgrimage site for coffee lovers. The name Starbucks was chosen carefully. Inspired by Starbuck, the first mate in Herman Melville's Moby Dick, it evoked the romance of the sea, the tradition of early coffee traders, and the sense of adventure tied to global exploration. The logo, a twin-tailed siren, symbolized allure, mystery, and the irresistible pull of coffee itself. In those early years, Starbucks didn't serve brewed coffee. Instead, it sold whole beans, tea, and spices, teaching customers how to grind and brew at home. The founders were mentored by Alfred Peet, the legendary roaster behind Peet's Coffee in Berkeley, California. Peet taught them the art of sourcing premium beans and roasting them to perfection, instilling a philosophy of quality that would define Starbucks for decades. By the early 1980s, Starbucks had grown to 6 stores in Seattle, each attracting a loyal following of coffee enthusiasts. Yet, despite its success, Starbucks was still a local brand, a niche retailer focused on beans rather than cafés. It was respected but not revolutionary. The stage was set for a dramatic turning point: the arrival of a young marketing executive named Howard Schultz. Schultz saw something the founders didn't: the potential to transform Starbucks from a retailer into a café experience, a place where coffee wasn't just bought but shared. His vision would change Starbucks forever. In 1982, a young marketing executive named Howard Schultz walked into Starbucks headquarters in Seattle. At the time, the company was still modest, a handful of stores selling beans, grinders, and brewing equipment. Schultz was captivated by Starbucks' obsession with quality, but he sensed untapped potential. To him, Starbucks wasn't just a retailer. It could be something much bigger. The defining moment came in 1983, when Schultz traveled to Milan, Italy. There, he discovered the magic of Italian espresso bars, bustling cafés where coffee was more than a drink. It was a ritual, a social experience, a daily gathering point. Schultz watched as people stood at counters sipping espresso, chatting with friends, and connecting with strangers. He realized that coffee could create community, and he envisioned Starbucks as America's version of that third place. Not home, not work, but a welcoming space in between. When Schultz returned to Seattle, he pitched the idea of serving espresso drinks in Starbucks stores. The founders resisted, fearing it would distract from their mission of selling beans. But Schultz was relentless. In 1985, he left Starbucks to launch his own company, Illinois Journal, which introduced Italian-style coffee bars to Seattle. Customers loved it. The concept worked. By 1987, Schultz raised investor support, acquired Starbucks, and merged Il Giornale into the brand. As CEO, he immediately began transforming Starbucks into a cafe chain. Stores opened across Seattle, then Portland, Chicago, and Vancouver. The atmosphere was carefully designed. Warm lighting, inviting chairs, and the aroma of freshly brewed espresso. Starbucks wasn't just selling coffee, it was selling an experience. The breakthrough came in 1992, when Starbucks went public on the NASDAQ, raising $25 million. The IPO fueled rapid expansion, and within a decade, Starbucks grew from a handful of stores to hundreds across the United States. Schultz's vision had come to life. Starbucks was no longer a niche retailer. It was a lifestyle brand, a cultural phenomenon, and a symbol of modern urban living. This was the turning point. Starbucks had crossed the threshold from local coffee seller to global cafe empire. The stage was set for the next chapter, international expansion and diversification, where Starbucks would become a household name worldwide. By the mid-1990s, Starbucks was no longer just a Seattle success story. It was becoming a national phenomenon. Stores opened in major U.S. cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, and the brand quickly became synonymous with premium coffee and a modern lifestyle. Carrying a Starbucks cup became a cultural marker, a symbol of urban sophistication and convenience. But Howard Schultz had bigger ambitions. He envisioned Starbucks not just as a coffee company, but as a global brand woven into everyday life. To achieve this, Starbucks began diversifying its menu. Drinks like the Frappuccino, flavored lattes, and seasonal offerings gave customers variety and excitement. The pumpkin spice latte, introduced in 2003, became a cultural phenomenon, sparking a craze that still defines autumn for millions of fans worldwide. Food also became part of the strategy. Starbucks introduced pastries, sandwiches, and snacks, turning its cafés into destinations for breakfast, lunch, and quick bites. This move positioned Starbucks not only as a coffeehouse but as a casual dining option, expanding its relevance throughout the day. International expansion accelerated. In 1996, Starbucks opened its first store outside North America in Tokyo, Japan, marking the beginning of a global journey. Soon, stores appeared in Europe, China, and the Middle East. Each location adapted to local cultures, offering green tea lattes in Asia, or wine and tapas in select European stores, while maintaining the familiar Starbucks atmosphere. By the early 2000s, Starbucks had thousands of stores worldwide, becoming a symbol of globalization itself. Partnerships and branding played a crucial role. Collaborations with PepsiCo brought ready-to-drink Starbucks beverages to grocery stores and vending machines. Packaged coffee entered supermarkets, allowing customers to brew Starbucks at home. The green siren logo became one of the most recognizable symbols in the world, representing not just coffee, but a lifestyle of convenience, community, and modernity. By the end of the 2000s, Starbucks had transformed from a coffee chain into a global brand empire, diversifying its products, markets, and cultural reach. Yet, rapid growth came with challenges. Rising competition, accusations of overexpansion, and the looming threat of economic downturns. The company's resilience would soon be tested in ways that would redefine its future. By the early 2000s, Starbucks was everywhere. The green siren had become a fixture of modern life, glowing from storefronts in New York, London, Tokyo, and Beijing, as well as suburban malls, airports, and college campuses. Starbucks wasn't just selling coffee. It was selling a ritual, a lifestyle, and a sense of belonging. For millions, grabbing a Starbucks cup became part of their daily identity. But success came with growing pains. Expansion was so aggressive that critics accused Starbucks of cloning itself and erasing local coffee culture. Rising prices fueled the perception that Starbucks was becoming elitist, and some customers felt the brand had lost the cozy charm of its early cafes. By the mid-2000s, Starbucks was facing a backlash. Then came the 2008 financial crisis. As consumer spending collapsed, Starbucks was hit hard. Hundreds of stores were closed, thousands of jobs were lost, and analysts questioned whether the company had grown too fast, too far. For the first time, Starbucks' future seemed uncertain. In response, Howard Schultz returned as CEO in 2008 to lead a dramatic turnaround. He refocused the company on its core values: quality coffee, skilled baristas, and the welcoming third-place philosophy. Schultz retrained employees, streamlined operations, and re-emphasized the human connection at the heart of Starbucks. At the same time, Starbucks embraced technology. Free Wi-Fi turned cafés into digital workspaces. The mobile app and loyalty program revolutionized customer engagement, allowing millions to order ahead, pay seamlessly, and earn rewards. Starbucks became not just a coffee company, but a pioneer in digital retail. The brand also diversified. It acquired Teavana to expand into premium teas, introduced healthier food options, and partnered with PepsiCo to distribute ready-to-drink beverages worldwide. Seasonal favorites like the pumpkin spice latte became cultural phenomena, cementing Starbucks' role in pop culture. Equally important was Starbucks' commitment to social responsibility. Through its CAFE practices, the company pledged to ethically source coffee beans, support farmers, and invest in sustainability. Initiatives to reduce waste, improve recycling, and promote renewable energy positioned Starbucks as a leader in corporate responsibility. By the end of the 2010s, Starbucks had not only survived its crisis but emerged stronger than ever. With more than 30,000 stores worldwide, it had cemented its role as the world's dominant coffeehouse chain, a global brand that symbolized both convenience and culture. Starbucks was no longer just a place to buy coffee. It was a cultural institution, woven into the fabric of everyday life. As the 2010s unfolded, Starbucks entered a new era defined by technology, sustainability, and global competition. The world was changing rapidly, and so were consumer expectations. Coffee was no longer just about taste, it was about convenience, personalization, and values. Starbucks recognized early that the smartphone would reshape the way people consumed coffee. Its mobile app became a cornerstone of the brand, offering mobile ordering, seamless payment, and a powerful rewards program. This digital ecosystem grew into one of the most successful loyalty platforms in retail, with tens of millions of active members. Customers could order ahead, skip the line, and earn personalized rewards, turning Starbucks into a leader in digital innovation. At the same time, Starbucks leaned heavily into sustainability and social responsibility. The company pledged to ethically source 100% of its coffee, reduce its environmental footprint, and invest in renewable energy. Initiatives like eliminating plastic straws, introducing recyclable cups, and supporting coffee farmers through its Coffee and Farmer Equity (CFE) practices reinforced its image as a socially conscious brand. Starbucks positioned itself not just as a coffee company, but as a company with a conscience. Competition, however, was intensifying. Boutique coffee shops offered artisanal experiences, while fast casual chains competed on price and convenience. To stay ahead, Starbucks introduced new concepts like reserve roasteries, high-end immersive coffee experiences showcasing rare blends and theatrical brewing methods. It also experimented with delivery partnerships through Uber Eats and other platforms, ensuring Starbucks could reach customers wherever they were. Globally, Starbucks continued to expand aggressively. China became its second-largest market, with thousands of stores opening across major cities. The company adapted to local tastes, offering green tea lattes, mooncakes, and region-specific menu items, while maintaining its signature brand identity. This ability to blend global consistency with local customization proved critical to its success. By the end of the 2010s, Starbucks had firmly established itself not just as a coffee company, but as a tech-driven, socially responsible lifestyle brand. Yet new challenges loomed. Rising labor costs, shifting consumer habits, and global crises like the COVID-19 pandemic tested its resilience once again. During the pandemic, Starbucks closed thousands of stores temporarily, pivoted to drive-through and delivery, and accelerated its digital transformation. The company emerged from the crisis with renewed focus, smaller, more efficient store formats, stronger digital engagement, and a deeper commitment to sustainability. Starbucks had proven once again that it could adapt to a changing world. But the question remained: how would it continue to reinvent itself in the decade ahead? Today, Starbucks is not just the world's largest coffeehouse chain. It is a global cultural institution. With over 38,000 stores in more than 80 countries, the company has woven itself into the daily routines of millions. From bustling city centers to quiet suburban corners, the green siren has become a universal symbol of comfort, consistency, and community. Financially, Starbucks remains a powerhouse, generating tens of billions in annual revenue. Its rewards loyalty program boasts tens of millions of active members, making it one of the most successful digital ecosystems in retail. The mobile app, mobile ordering, and personalized offers have turned Starbucks into a leader in digital customer engagement, setting the standard for the industry. But Starbucks is not without challenges. Rising labor costs, supply chain pressures, and competition from boutique coffee shops and fast casual chains test its dominance. Consumer preferences are shifting toward healthier, plant-based, and sustainable options, forcing Starbucks to innovate constantly. The company has responded with oat milk lattes, plant-based food partnerships, and a renewed focus on wellness. Sustainability is at the heart of Starbucks' future. The company has pledged to become resource positive, aiming to store more carbon than it emits, eliminate waste, and conserve water. Initiatives like recyclable cups, reusable programs, and investments in renewable energy are part of its long-term vision. Starbucks also continues to support coffee farmers worldwide, ensuring ethical sourcing and fair trade practices remain central to its identity. Looking ahead, Starbucks sees enormous potential in emerging markets like China, India, and Africa, where coffee culture is still growing. It is also experimenting with new formats: high-end reserve roasteries, smaller neighborhood cafés, and delivery-only kitchens designed for the digital age. The company's goals are clear: to remain the world's most trusted coffee brand, to lead in sustainability, and to redefine what a coffeehouse can be in the 21st century. From a single shop in Seattle's Pike Place market to a global empire, Starbucks has proven that coffee is more than a drink. It is a culture, a community, and a way of life.
Subscribe and like us. There will be many more stories about great companies here.